Hello, hello, American Dream Live member. Happy Thursday. Coming live and continue for the second month to be coming here around 8, between 8 and 9, and somehow enjoying it. However, that's interesting story and probably related to the topic as well. But before I will share a bit about that and some other stories that were happening around that topic. Let me just remind you what this community about, how to grow your beliefs and become a united human being, and why it's so important to find that unity within, and how it relates to American Dream Life. Well, you were looking for a different, when you thinking of American Dream, or you decided to move to America, you were thinking of that dream, of that better tomorrow, that you felt that you don't belong in the country that you were living, for example, and you needed find a better way, better place to live, better environment. So and many times when you decided to do it, you were surprised that possibly it wasn't something that you actually wanted to do, or surprising because everything was new and not to your expectation. You were probably like not so pleasantly surprised because your high expectation didn't match up. So what I'm talking about, that, well, because you brought that with you, and I was discussing that with someone from the community a while back when they were expressing that interest of traveling, and hopefully to change their life if they move to different environment. And it's important, the environment is important. However, if you not choosing, making a different choices within, and just changing the environment will not change. Or how should I say it to make it more clear? If you're not willing to grow with the new environment and start transforming your experiences, nothing will change. You will be complaining about the new environment again, because you will be seeing from the view of the old environment your dissatisfactions, and picking and judging different things in that environment. So that's the reason it's so important to keep growing your beliefs, to transform your beliefs and thoughts, to actually become more united and live your American dream. So I've been kind of on it to somehow emphasis what this community about, how that can support you. So let's jump to the topic of this week, about the preference. I promise that I will mention about the preferences. So the preferences could be very small, like I just had. I was running a bit, couple minutes late, and I was like in that energy of rush and adrenal and somehow all over, because I was making sure that I'm ready for to do that broadcast. And my preference was to actually take another minute and just catch couple of breaths, to ground myself, to become more present, and to see how I can actually share the message in more calming, peaceful, joyful way, instead of all over the place. So that's kind of about that. And another story I want to share, that actually was happening yesterday. And I had mentioned that sometimes when I choose the word, and actually all of a sudden I'm having the experiences in my life, or sometimes the experiences leading me to the word. And this time that was actually the case. And when I kind of start thinking back and reflecting, I'm like, wow, it's almost felt like unbelievable. So what's the story about, and how it's related to preference? My mom was actually for some time was after me to help her to buy her a dress. And I was saying that really there's really not much anymore in the stores to find something decent, and that it will take so much time. So I won't be able to help. We were trying to attempt to do something online, and then that wasn't really working to somehow communicate which one she would like. And I didn't want her to put anything on her. I offer her some suggestions and allow her to choose which one she wants. And that choosing clothes online it's not the easiest task as well. So I was actually having in-person appointment, and I was near the mall, and actually she also suggested that. However, I was even thinking to bringing her and doing all kinds of things, like dropping her at the mall, going to my appointment, picking her up, and I'm like, well, it will be a lot of things, and like, let's simplify that. And I will go to my appointment. I will stop by and see if there's really anything in the store before potentially I might take her, or maybe we can just communicate. We done that before, that we communicated over instant messenger, where I put the video in the store and kind of show her how that dress looked like, so she had a better idea. And with the description, when at least I was in person, that was more helpful than just shopping online based on the picture. So anyhow, so that's kind of the story that about the preferences, and how that kind of preferences, and me trying to shop for my mom dress, and in all of that I realized that I need one too, that I need a fresh dress, and those because we have a family gathering that will be at the church, a celebration that we were waiting for a long time for it. So we thought that we get to dress for occasion and have a nice fresh outfits to wear. So I realized I get to actually, because I possibly will be playing some role in it, in support, so that I get to actually have that too. So I choose that, like, well, it's not just about my mom and supporting her with that, but I get to actually find one for myself. And I thought, well, I can do it both at the same time. Why not? And it got to the point that there was some choice in one store. However, I like start putting some doubts that possibly, well, if I won't find something for myself, I will just wear whatever actually I was wearing that day. It wasn't a dress, it was just a nice skirt with a blouse. And I'm like, well, maybe that will be it. So, however, I like choose to actually keep going and going across the street to another store. And to my surprise, I found like 5 different dresses that felt like, well, that could be a great option and they look great. However, I went to the fitting room, and something in each of them were not something that I liked. So there was a bit even more discouragement. I wasn't able to find much for my mom there in that store. So let's try another store. And the third, seems like third store was the charm, when to like I lower my expectation and wasn't even sure if that's the store that I even have should go, because possibly I won't be able to find some nice dresses there. And to my surprise, I did find 2 dresses. I overcame, because apparently shortage of staff created that their fitting room was closed, only available from Friday to Sunday. And there was another woman standing there, and we choose actually to go to the restroom that was next door to actually try those on, to make sure that we're not buying something that might not fit. And apparently 2 of my choices were a pretty good fit to my satisfaction. In the bedroom there was nice actually mirror that not just above the sink, but on the wall, that I could actually see myself, how it looks. And that was actually, I was so happy. So I'm like, okay, so now my preference, I have my preference and I have my dress. Let's see if I can do another store that I had in mind and choose something for my mom, and even like, please help me here. so so I went there and stopped by, and actually, again, I was like thinking maybe that will be a good dress for my mom. And I contact her over that instant messenger, and apparently She wasn't she saw that when I was showing her the video, she was actually seeing another dress next to it that was more of her preference. And I like, well, if it's her preference, I just described to her about the length, about how it's made, what material it's made, and she chose to go with this one. So I made myself happy yesterday, and my mom, that we both have nice new outfits, and can celebrate that family gathering soon, that is happening soon. And that's kind of about the preference and how that kind of relates to the topic and what can support based on that story. It's actually leading me to share three of the things that you actually can possibly feel in that story, but if you don't, I will share with you here. First, you are matter. That's the first thing that many times in the preferences, like I was describing with my mom, that I was choosing not my preferences, but choosing to actually support my mom over my own. That it felt like I don't matter, I have to support my mom. Same with you deserve, like I was somehow doubting that I deserve the new outfit. I might just go with the one that I already have, and that possibly some thoughts might be showing, and how to overcome and how to embody more of that you deserve, and that you can be preference and not somebody else. And the third one, you are loved. You are loved, and you get to actually realize that as well, that that actually it's even more solidify that when you realizing that you matter and you deserve, you also will experience that and will believe more that you are loved, that you're not missing anything. Yes, and the dress, because that's your preference and you want to have a nice dress and look even better. However, you are loved anyway, so you get to actually realize that as well. So that's the message that I want to share today. Kind of unusual, and I don't want to stream too long here, so you have an opportunity to listen to it and see what resonates with that message with you based on that story, and you possibly relate about purchasing something and working on the preferences, and potentially some thoughts, similar thoughts were coming through your mind, that maybe putting some doubts and not going all the way through on your preference because of some limitations that you felt at that moment, that maybe, oh, it doesn't matter, or you don't matter, or you don't deserve that, or you don't feel loved, so why I have to buy, because maybe there is something that you feel outside that, especially with fitting dresses, that maybe there's certain parts of the body not to your liking and not to your preference. and and you somehow not feeling that you can find something that will actually complement your beautiful body that it is, no matter what size or shape it is. So anyhow, so that's the message, and like I said, feel free to comment what resonates with that message. And this broadcast is streamed on YouTube and as well as on American Dream Life Facebook group. There is a link to Facebook group community on the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is the public one where you can share when the message resonates. Maybe somebody needs to hear it, and it will be easier to share. YouTube channel, you can hit notification button to know where I'm coming on the. And usually I'm scheduling ahead. Sometimes there is a bit longer scheduling where you have a little bit more time to see what's the topic about, and when I will be streaming. Sometimes it's a shorter notice, but usually it's on Thursdays, and for the second month it seems like mornings in Mountain Standard Pacific are more of the preference to stream, so it's the message can be checked on by more people because it is international community. So without further ado, sending you so much love, joy, and peace. Until next time, take care.